This stamp is from the island of Aruba. We can see that its face value is 65 cents of the Aruban florin. And the image depicts what looks to be a ship's anchor with a donkey and the Aruban landscape in the background. This is a mint stamp with no postmark and was issued in 2017. The size is 36 by 25 millimeters. So the stamp is part of a set of 8 stamps issued in 2017. I remember getting them, so I knew to look for them, but it took me a very long time to find them in my box. Never store your stamps loosely in a cardboard box such as this. It's a bad idea for a number of reasons, including the fact that it can take you a very long time to find what you're looking for. Now, as for Aruba, I really know nothing about it other than the fact that it is an island, but I don't know where, so let's get the map. Aruba is a small island, just 33 kilometers or 21 miles long in the southern Caribbean Sea. It's just north of Venezuela. It was part of the Netherlands Antilles until 1986, which was a constituent country of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. And before that, it was part of the Dutch territory of Curaçao and dependencies. Today, it is a separate autonomous member of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and is apparently a beautiful island that attracts over 1.5 million tourists each year. I have a cover from the Netherlands Antilles that consists of a number of stamps that were issued in the 1960s and 1970s. The stamps call out a couple of islands that belong to this constituent country of the Netherlands and Antilles, and that includes Aruba and Sint Maarten. But this cover was actually sent in 2002, and that's because the Netherlands and Antilles actually existed from 1954 all the way until 2010. Aruba seceded from the country in 1986, and therefore all stamps of the Netherlands and Antilles after 1986 will not reference Aruba, but these stamps will definitely be a part of Aruba's postal history. So in 1986, Aruba actually begins to issue its first postage stamps as an independent country. Now, I say independent country, but it's not a sovereign state. It's part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, and the same is true for Sint Maarten and Curaçao. So Aruba has its own parliament, for example, but it relies on the Netherlands for defense and foreign policy. I managed to obtain a number of stamps from Aruba, all displaying bright, colorful, and interesting imagery that celebrates the culture, history, architecture, their dependency on tourism, and even celebrating their postal service. And as you can imagine, the island takes full advantage of its beautiful fauna, flora, and scenery depicted on many of its postage stamps today. The set that I pulled from the box does exactly that. Island scenery showing a few particular locations. I had a go at looking some of them up online, such as this one with the iguana in the foreground. That hill in the background is called Hooiberg, which is the Dutch word for haystack, and it's a volcanic formation that apparently really stands out in the island. In the middle of the island is this rock formation called the Cassabari Rock Formation. At the very north of the island is this lighthouse called the California Lighthouse. It's called the California Lighthouse after the California steamship that wrecked nearby. Speaking of shipwrecks, the island has a lot of shipwrecks around it, some purposely sank to form a coral reef. Here's a stamp that depicts a beachfront with a shipwreck in the distance. This shipwreck is called the Babu Shipwreck. It resurfaced after a hurricane in 1999. And then the one I pulled from the box, which is kind of strange. It's this anchor with a donkey. Not sure if the donkey just hangs out by the anchor. I actually saw this on another stamp. There it is, but there's no donkey by the anchor. But before I look up anything else about this anchor, I'm actually going to stop right there because this is the kind of thing that I believe needs to be investigated in person. And no, it's not because this is a Caribbean island in which the stamps have clearly convinced me that it has beautiful scenery and flamingos. It's just that I think that visiting the island will help us to appreciate the set that I pulled from the box and understand what that anchor is all about. Somebody asked me what I take with on all these important trips. Well, it depends on where I'm going. In this case, I definitely see myself needing my island hat, sunglasses. I always take a healthy snack, as well as my tweezers, and of course, stamps. Am I the only person that takes their stamps on trips? Alright, let's do this. Well, here it is. It's a big red anchor, not much to it, and it's just placed here in this beautiful location. Apparently the anchor was lost from a ship off the coast during rough weather sometime in the 1960s. Today it stands here as a memorial to all the fallen sailors, and it's a well photographed site on this windy part of the island. I know what you're thinking. I'm crazy for coming out all the way to this island just to find an anchor. But it brings up an interesting point. Those stamps are showing points of interest, and therefore they're serving the purpose of a travel brochure. So what I could do is see if I can find more of those images or those points of interest from the stamps and make a bit of an adventure of it. Maybe I'll find a few flamingos or, oh my gosh, a donkey. Made a stamp happen in real life. How cool is that? Thanks for joining me on another philatelic adventure. More videos are to come, so make sure to subscribe and leave a comment below. See you next time.